There are moments in each of our lives when the noise of doubt becomes deafening, doubt from others, doubt from within, that voice that says you're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough. Maybe you've heard it from people who look right past you, who expect little, or who say you come from the wrong place or don't have the right name. Maybe you've heard it so often you started believing it yourself. But here's the truth, that doubt doesn't define you. Your response does. History is filled with those who were underestimated, overlooked, and told they wouldn't make it. But they pushed forward anyway. They worked twice as hard, they stayed up later, they studied longer, and they carried themselves with quiet dignity. They didn't need to scream back at the critics. They let their work speak. They let their persistence shine. They didn't just want to succeed. They wanted to prove that every door closed on them could be broken open with character and grit. You might not be able to control the voices around you, but you can control the power you give them. Don't let them write your story. Write it yourself, one page at a time, with every decision to rise above, to act with integrity, and to keep moving forward even when the road gets tough. And understand this, proving them wrong isn't about vengeance. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up for yourself, for your community, and for those coming after you. It's about becoming the kind of person who, instead of doubting others, lifts them up. So the next time someone says you can't, just smile, get to work, and let success be your answer. Silence the doubt, not with anger, not with noise, but with excellence. Show them who you are, not with your words, but with your example. And when the world sees what you've built, what you've overcome, and who you've become, the silence will speak louder than any doubt ever could. There comes a time in everyone's life when doubt creeps in, not just from others, but from within. Sometimes it's a teacher who doesn't expect much from you, a boss who overlooks your potential, or even a friend who questions your dreams. And then there's that quiet, persistent voice inside that wonders if maybe they're right. But in those moments, it's crucial to remember that what truly defines you isn't the doubt, the criticism, or the low expectations. It's how you choose to respond. When people underestimate you, you have two options. You can shrink to fit their limited view, or you can stand tall and redefine the frame. The world is full of noise, and much of it tells us what we can't do, who we can't be, and how far we can't go. But none of that noise holds any power unless we decide to internalize it. The real power lies in our hands, in how we carry ourselves, in how we react, and in how we push forward. Everyone faces adversity. What separates those who rise from those who stall isn't the absence of doubt, but the refusal to let it take control. You might not have all the resources, the experience, or the support right now. You might feel behind. That's okay. What matters is how you show up in the face of that feeling. Will you let the doubt speak for you, or will you rise above it and speak with your effort, your commitment, and your quiet confidence? People will always have something to say. They may label you, measure you, or try to define your worth through their own narrow lens, but they don't own your story. You do. Every challenge is a chance to write a new chapter. Every doubt cast your way is an invitation to prove, to yourself most of all, that you are more than capable, that you're ready, that you belong, and that the only approval you truly need is your own belief that you are enough, exactly as you are, and strong enough to become even more. Success rarely comes in a straight line. It's built on quiet mornings, late nights, missed parties, and 1,000 moments when no one is watching. In those moments, when the doubts of others echo in your mind, it's not about shouting back, it's about getting to work. Hard work, persistence, and focus have a way of silencing even the loudest critics. When you dedicate yourself to excellence, you shift the conversation. You don't need to explain or defend your ambition. You let your effort speak for itself. There is something powerful about staying steady while others expect you to falter. While some people waste time doubting your ability, your learning, growing, pushing, you put in the hours, you read the books, you train harder, you prepare more thoroughly, And while others are waiting for you to prove them wrong with words, you're proving it with progress. Doubt thrives on inaction, but it loses strength every time you show up and do the work. What people often forget is that achievement isn't loud. Mastery doesn't need applause. The most successful people didn't get there by constantly trying to convince others of their worth. They just kept doing the work. They failed, they learned, they improved. Their strength wasn't just talent, it was consistency. They understood that excellence isn't a moment, it's a habit, and over time, something shifts. The people who doubted you stopped talking, not because you silenced them with arguments, but because your results left nothing else to say. That's the power of quiet, focused effort. It turns doubt into disbelief, then into respect. And even if the respect never comes, it doesn't matter, because the most meaningful victories are personal. They come when you realize that every step forward was earned, that the work you put in has changed you, made you sharper, stronger, more confident. So when you're faced with doubt, don't meet it with noise. Meet it with discipline. Meet it with dedication. Show up again and again until the results can't be ignored. Let your work become your voice. Let your persistence become your proof. Self-belief is not something we're born with, it's something we build, especially in environments where we're constantly underestimated. It's easy to feel confident when people are cheering you on, when every door opens smoothly and every voice tells you that you belong. But real confidence, the kind that lasts, is forged when no one is clapping. When the world seems skeptical and you still choose to stand tall. That's the kind of belief that matters. There will be times when you walk into a room and feel like an outsider. Maybe you don't look like everyone else. Maybe you didn't come from the same background. Maybe your name, your story, your journey doesn't fit the mold of what people expect. That can be isolating. It can make you question whether you're supposed to be there at all. But here's the truth. Your uniqueness is your strength. You don't need to blend in to succeed. You need to show up fully as yourself. The challenge is tuning out the doubts that others try to plant in your mind. Sometimes it's subtle. Look, a dismissive comment, a lowered expectation. Other times it's blatant, someone telling you directly that you're not ready, not qualified, or not enough. And the danger isn't just in hearing those words, it's in believing them. Because once that seed of doubt is planted, it can grow fast if you're not careful. That's why protecting your mindset is so important. Your self-belief has to be stronger than their skepticism. You have to become your own biggest advocate. That means investing in your growth, embracing your strengths, and refusing to define yourself by someone else's limited imagination. It means reminding yourself every single day that you are capable, that you have something valuable to offer, that your voice matters. Building self-belief doesn't mean pretending to have all the answers or never feeling uncertain. It means showing up anyway. It means doing the work, even when it's uncomfortable. It means staying committed to your goals when no one else understands them. And when that belief is real, when it's earned through effort and experience, it becomes unshakable, because you're not just hoping you belong. You know you do. There's something powerful about quiet determination, about the kind of success that doesn't seek revenge, but clarity. When people doubt you, it's natural to want to respond with anger, to prove them wrong by throwing their words back in their face. But real power doesn't come from shouting, it comes from showing. It comes from choosing growth over grudges, progress over pettiness. Success is not a tool for settling scores. It's a path to becoming the person you were always meant to be. The world will try to put you in a box, limit your potential, define your ceiling. Some will say you can't do it, not because of your talent, but because of their bias. That has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. But here's the beautiful thing. When you succeed in spite of it, when you rise on your own terms, you don't just shatter their assumptions. You set a new standard. You make it harder for the next person like you to be ignored. You open doors not just for yourself, but for those who are watching and hoping. Letting success be your answer isn't about showing off or proving a point for applause. It's about anchoring yourself in something deeper, the knowledge that your journey is yours alone and no one else gets to write your story. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need their permission to become great. All you need is to stay focused, stay honest with yourself, and stay hungry. Every goal you reach, every challenge you overcome, sends a message louder than words ever could. It says, "You were wrong about me, and I didn't have to fight you to prove it. I just had to be myself consistently, fully, and without apology." That's the kind of strength that inspires. That's the kind of proof that leaves no doubt. So yes, prove them wrong, but not with bitterness in your heart. Do it with grace. Do it with excellence. Do it because your success is not just a rebuttal, it's a revolution. And once it's out in the world, there's no denying it. When someone doubts you, it's tempting to turn proving them wrong into a mission fueled by anger or pride. But chasing success out of spite rarely leads to true fulfillment. What gives that journey real meaning is when you choose to rise, not to get even, but to get better, not to make someone else feel small, but to remind yourself and others of what's possible when you refuse to stay down. Proving others wrong isn't about standing over them. It's about standing tall in your own purpose. It's about growing past their limitations, not being trapped by them. When you fixate on making others regret their doubt, you hand them power they don't deserve. But when you channel that energy into growth, into consistency, into integrity, you reclaim that power for yourself. You stop needing to look over your shoulder. You start focusing on the future. And here's the truth. Every time you rise, you're not just lifting yourself. You're lighting the path for someone else. Maybe it's someone younger who's never seen someone like them succeed. Maybe it's a peer who's still finding the courage to try. Maybe it's even someone who once doubted themselves the way you used to. Your success becomes a mirror for others, showing them what's possible. And in that way, your journey becomes bigger than your own goals. It becomes a source of strength for your whole community. People often think leadership is about titles or applause, but real leadership is quiet and personal. It's about setting an example, about showing how to work with purpose, how to move with discipline, and how to rise with humility. When you do that, your success becomes more than just a personal victory. It becomes a message that strength doesn't always roar, that kindness and ambition can coexist, and that you don't have to step on others to reach higher ground. So yes, rise, go further than they ever expected you to. Break the limits they tried to set, but don't rise with resentment, rise with responsibility. Carry your story proudly, and know that in proving them wrong, you're also proving something bigger, that every person who's ever been doubted can dare to believe again. The most powerful proof of who you are isn't in what you say, it's in how you show up every single day. It's in the habits you build, the choices you make when no one's watching, and the way you treat others, even when you're under pressure. You don't need to convince people of your value when your actions speak for themselves. Excellence carried out consistently and humbly becomes a force that can't be ignored. When you lead by example, you create a standard that elevates not just yourself, but everyone around you. People start to take notice, not just of your results, but of how you carry yourself, how you stay grounded, how you push through setbacks without losing your character. That's what lasting respect is built on. Not flash, not ego, but steadiness, quiet confidence, relentless integrity. And here's the thing, the impact of your excellence goes far beyond proving someone wrong. It creates a ripple effect. It encourages others to aim higher, to hold themselves to a greater standard, and to believe in what's possible. Your story becomes a blueprint. Your discipline becomes inspiration. Your journey becomes proof, not just that it can be done, but that it can be done the right way. You won't need to remind people of what they said you couldn't do. You won't have to throw your success in anyone's face, because the life you build, the character you show, and the legacy you leave behind will say it all. And the silence that follows will be more powerful than any apology, any recognition, any award. So walk your path with focus, own your space with pride, and let your actions leave no room for doubt. Let them see what excellence looks like. Let them feel what real leadership sounds like. Measured, steady, resilient. In the end, you won't just silence the doubt, you'll rewrite the expectations. And when that happens, you won't need to prove them wrong anymore, because you'll have already proven yourself right. Thank you